I got for number what page?
On page 282, this was yesterday's homework.
6/7 equals 6/7.
Very good. Number 2, Grace.
9/27 and 7/21, like firsts are equal. They
Okay.
both equal.
What did you reduce them down to?
I reduced 9/27 to 1/3, and 7/21 1/3.
There you go. So 1/3 is equivalent to 1/3. Parker, number 3. Hey, River, we're just checking our homework, so have page 282 out, okay? Go ahead, Parker.
11/27 and 11/27 and 10/13 are not equal.
Very good. And Nora, number 4.
3/5 is equal to 3/5.
Good. Phoenix, number 5.
I multiplied them both by 3.
Very good. Top and bottom by 3. Blake, what about number 6? How'd you go from 32/80 to 4/10? What'd you get?
I divided it by 8.
There you go. Divided top and bottom by 8. River, you have your homework out. Number 7. What'd you get for that one? River, what'd you get for number 7?
Can you hear me?
Oh, it's a little blocked out. Grace, why don't you go ahead and do number 7 while we're waiting for him? His connection is a little
by 9.
Top and bottom by 9. There you go. River, did you get number 8?
1/6.
Well, number 8, you're having to perform an operation on both terms. So number 8 is 7/12 is equal to 56/96. So what did you do to the top and the bottom of that fraction?
I divided it by...
Well, you're going from 7 to 56. So you're going to a bigger number. So we're not going to be dividing.
Multiply it by 6.
Not by 6. 7 times 6 is 40. There you go. You have to multiply the top by 8. 7 times 8 is 56. And then multiply the denominator. 12 times 8 is 96. All right, number 9. Now you're using cross multiplication. So number 9 multiplied 15 times 8 and then multiplied 20 times 6. And we saw yesterday in class that those two sides are equal. 120 is equal to 120. Number 10, Nora, make sure you're checking your work.
Number 10 is correct.
Okay, what did you cross multiply? Like what was your final answer?
I multiplied 18 and 2 to get 36.
Yes.
And 3 and 12 to get 36.
So 36 is equal to 36. Parker, number 11.
11?
480 equals 480.
It's not 480. 30 times 8 is actually 240, but they are equivalent to one another. So 240 is equal to 240. And Phoenix, number 12.
I got 280 is equal to 2.
What was the other one you cross multiplied?
7 times 40,
Which is?
which was
What's 7 times 4?
they're equal.
They're both equal. 280 is equal to 280. Good. All right. Now we're using division to find whether they're proportional, right? A decimal, okay? So 2/4 and 15/30, number 13, those were equal. What is 2/4 as a decimal, Blake?
2 decimal. Oh, 50.
0.5,
0.5.
right?
0.5.
0.5. And then 15/30 is also reduced down to 1/2, which is 0.5 as well. Okay, what about number 14? Ooh, what is 3/8 as a decimal? Who got that one? We got to change these to decimals. So number 14, 3/8. What is that as a decimal? River, what'd you get? Did you do this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what'd you change 3/8 to a decimal?
0.3.
You are close. It's not 0.3. Parker.
0.2.
No. How do we change a fraction to a decimal? What's the process we got to do, Grace?
Division?
Yes, exactly. 3/8. So we need to divide. Annex a decimal and 0. So 30 divided by 8. That's 3. But we've got a remainder. So we got to keep going. 7. And 5. So what's my decimal, River?
Sorry, I was trying to figure out why my sound is not working very well. 0.375.
Yes, you're correct. 0.375. Okay, what about 4/16, Nora? Well, first off, you got to reduce 4/16 down to what?
4/16 is reduced down to 1/4.
There you go. What is 1/4 as a decimal, Blake?
25.25.
There you go. So we have 0.375 and we have 0.25. This is 4/16, which reduces to 1/4. This is 3/8. So what's the comparison? Are these two decimals equal or not equal? Well, clearly they are not equal to one another. So this is the answer here for number 14. Number 15, let's do that one. We've got 2/3 and we've got 3/5. We've got to change these to decimals. What is 2/3 as a decimal? Anybody remember that?
0.3 repeating.
It's not a whole number, it's just a fraction. 1/3 is 0.3 repeating.
So
0.6 repeating?
It's about 0.67 ... Yes, 0.6 repeating. Anybody remember 3/5? This was one of the ones that we had to memorize.
6?
60.
0.6. Very good, yes. Because it's 3 out of a whole. Okay, River, what is my comparison here? Equal or not equal?
Equal.
So 0.67 is equal to 0.6?
No, nope, not equal.
No. They are not equal. All right. Let's see here. Number 16, 9/72 and 6/48. Phoenix, what do we have to do to these fractions first before changing them to decimals? Got to reduce some down. So 9 over 72 will reduce to 1/8. And 6 over 48 will also reduce to 1/8. Who remembers what's the decimal of 1/8? Because remember, we're comparing them to the decimal. I already know that they're going to be equal, but I got to put them in their decimal form. What's the decimal form? Zero 0.125. Okay. All right. Here is what you have for today, and you actually get the weekend until Monday's class to finish it if you need to. Okay. You have a quiz. All right. No excuses. That quiz must be done by Monday before you get back on Zoom. Give me a thumbs up if you heard that. All right. So make sure that quiz gets done. I'm going to do some of the homework with you today. We're on page 283. This is your homework. All right. And I'm going to get some of it done with you right now. Sound like a plan? So it's on Google Classwork already, but I'll put it up here for you. We're doing page 283, numbers 17 through 35 all. Okay? So this is your assignment as well as your quiz. Okay, so these are the two things you have to get done this weekend. Here we go. Computer. All right, number 17. Solve the proportion. All right, remember, a proportion, those are two equivalent ratios, right? So a ratio on the left side, ratio on the right side, okay? Everybody following along here? Here we go. Let's solve this ratio. Well, something over 24 is equivalent to 9 over 36. I can solve this by doing cross multiplication, and I'm looking for, okay, what is the value of A? Let's cross multiply. A times 36, well, that's 36 times A is equal to 24 times 9. River, figure out 24 times 9. Go.
24 times.
Blake, I want you to verify his answer. Make sure he gets it correct. 24 times 9. Go.
216.
Blake, can you verify that for me?
What was the problem again? 24 times.
Okay, so just because he's doing it, you have to do it too. Everybody else is figuring out what 24 times 9 is on their paper, okay? This is your homework. All of 17 through 35, and I'm doing some of it with you, okay? So make sure you're following along. All right. So 36 times A. River said 24 times 9 is 216. Blake, is that what you got too?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, I've got 36 times A is equal to 216. Grace, I've got to get A by itself. How do I get A by itself?
Divide.
I have to undo the operation. So if I'm multiplying on the left side, I've got to divide. 36 divided by 36 is 1. So I'm just left with A on the left side. What is, Nora, you figure this one out. What is 216 divided by 36? Everybody be doing it on your paper as well. River, did you get an answer? Okay. Everybody's doing it right now. 216 divided by 36. Nora, what'd you get?
6.
Yes. So A is equal to 6. Therefore, I can come up here and write my original proportion. 6 over 24 is equivalent to 9 over 36. How can I check that? Well, 6 divided by 24, I can reduce that down to 1/4, and I can reduce 9 over 36 down to 1/4 as well. 1/4 is equivalent to one another. These are equal ratios. We call them proportions. All right, let's do number, let's see. Let's do number 19 together, okay? Number 19, so everybody doing this on your paper as well. 4 over 16 is equivalent to C over 12. Okay, let's cross multiply. So I have 4 times 12 is equal to 16 times C. Phoenix, what is 4 times 12?
48.
Good. 48 is equal to 16 times C. Grace, how do I get C by itself?
You divide.
Divide both sides by 16. Who knows off the top of their head, what is 48 divided by 16? Yes.
4.
Oh, it's 3. I heard somebody say 3. Yes. 16 times 3 is 48. So here is my answer. C is equal to 3. Number 17, A is equal to 6. So we're trying to find equivalent proportions, equivalent ratios by solving using cross multiplication. All right, here we go. Number 21. H over 2 is equal to 120 over 80. Let me ask you this. Before you cross multiply, can you reduce those fractions down? Would that be a little bit easier to reduce this fraction right here before you cross multiply? Reduce it. Tell me what you get. Parker, tell me, what do you get after you reduce 120 over 80? Blake, I want you to verify it too. Tell me what you get.
Right.
Blake, do you have a piece of paper that you're doing your homework on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, that's what we're doing right now. So make sure that you're following along and you're doing the problems with me too, okay?
Okay, I don't have a pencil, so I'm using a marker, and I keep on using it.
That will work for today, okay? Next time, bring a pencil and a piece of paper to our Zoom calls, okay? So you can get your work done.
Okay.
All right. Parker, 120 divided by 80. What does that reduce down to? Here's a little trick. If you've got 2 zeros, numerator and denominator, you can go ahead and just cancel those out. So then you've
40.
got to reduce 12 over 8. What is 12 over 8 reduced to?
4.
12 divided by 8 isn't 4, but 12 over 8 can be reduced to what? What can we divide top and bottom by?
4.
4.
Yes. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. We just reduced 120 over 80 down to 3 over 2. Is this a little bit easier to work with? Let's cross multiply. So that's h times 2, 2 times h, and then is equal to 2 times 3. So that's 2h is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 2, and h is equal to 3. So can you do that? Can you reduce down your original fractions, your original ratios? Well, sure. All right, let's move on. Because why are we doing proportions right now? Well, proportions can help us to solve without necessarily finding the unit rate every time. For example, number 23. Blake, read number 23 for me.
A 4 pounds of apples for $6 or 10 pounds of apples for $15.
So the directions want us to say, okay, write a proportion using the information that we have, and then are those proportions equivalent? So here we go, number 23. 4 pounds of apples will cost $6. And I can set that equal to, well, if I buy 10 pounds, that will be $15. Solve this proportion to see if they're equal. Go, River, tell me what you get. Are they equal proportions, River?
Yes.
Yes, because when you cross multiply, 15 times 4 should be equal to 10 times 6. What is 15 times 4, River?
That is 60.
And what's 10 times 6?
60.
There we go. All right, everybody do number 25. Five bottles of soda will cost $7. So 5 bottles will be $7. Or if you buy 6 bottles, that will be $8. Are those equivalent proportions, Blake? So you have to cross multiply to solve that.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 5 times 8 must be equal to 7 times 6. What is 5 times 8?
Oh, it's 40. Oh,
And what's 7 times 6?
42.
So are those equal proportions?
No.
No, they're not equal proportions. All right, try number 27. You write out what is the proportion, okay? Write the first ratio, that is equal to what other ratio? Go. Grace, what was the proportion? Not the answer. What's your proportion?
1 over $1.
Okay, 1 quart is equivalent to paying $1. Okay, that's equal to what?
To 1 gallon for $4.
1 gallon for $4. Huh. Okay, hold up just a second. These are not the same units. So I have to change those units. How many quarts are in a gallon?
4.
4 quarts would be $4. So you have to change gallons to quarts and then cross multiply. So 1 times 4 is equivalent to 1 times 4. Yep. Those are equivalent, but only when you have the same units. That one was tricky. Okay. So if you have pounds, you have to stick with pounds. If you've got dollars, you got to stick with dollars. Quarts, you got to stick with quarts. All right, let's do some of these story problems. These are where we're really going to get into it. Number 29. Read that for me, Nora.
Gabriel shoveled snow from 2 driveways in 3 hours. At this rate, how long will it take him to shovel 5 driveways?
So my proportion is he can shovel 2 driveways, and that will take him 3 hours. All right, got to solve a proportion. I want to know though, how many driveways can he, or excuse me, how long will it take him to do 5 driveways? So I'm looking for how many hours. Now, Parker, let me ask you this. Why did I put 5 driveways in the numerator? Why didn't I put 5 driveways in the denominator?
Because 2 driveways is on the numerator in the previous one.
Did everybody see that? My driveways, my ratio is in the numerator. So in my second ratio, I have to keep driveways in the same area. So now, here we go. I'm going to cross multiply to find, okay, how many hours is it going to take? So 2 times, let's take this question mark and let's put it as a variable, because remember, variables represent something that we don't know. So let's say, well, 2 times x is equal to 3 times 5. So 2 times x is equal to 15. Let's get x by itself, because x represents the number of hours it's going to take him to do 5 driveways. So divide both sides by 2. X is equal to, now I'm dealing with hours right here. So Blake, do I want to leave it as 15 over 2?
No.
What do I want to change that to?
Hours.
Okay, well, it is 15 over 2
But you want to use
hours.
a decimal.
A decimal or a mixed number, very good. So what is 15 over 2, River, as a mixed number or a decimal?
It is 7.5.
Very good. 7.5 hours, or if you wanted to do it as a decimal, that would be 7.5 hours. So how long is it going to take Gabriel to shovel 5 driveways? It'll take him 7.5 hours. If it takes him 3 hours to do 2, it'll take him 7.5 to do 5. Let's do another one of these, okay? He's earning money. Number 31. Parker? Say that again. Well, I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Could you tell me how you did number 27?
Number 27, it was 1 quart of milk for $1 or a gallon of milk for $4. Well, are quarts and gallons equivalent? No, so we had to change 1 quart. Well, we kept 1 quart for $1, but instead of writing 1 gallon here, we actually said, well, quarts and gallons, those aren't equivalent, but what is the equivalent of a gallon in quarts?
4 quarts.
4 quarts is the same as 1 gallon, but I'm writing it in quarts because I want to have quarts here and I want to have quarts there. So 4 quarts would be equivalent to $4. Cross multiply, those are equivalent to one another. Good, thank you for asking a question. Number 31. Read that for me, River.
2 pizzas cost $15. At this rate, how much would 7 pizzas cost?
Okay, let's see here. River, give me the proportion. Now there's something that we don't know. So use the variable x to represent the value we don't know. So here we go. Give me the proportion for number 31.
2 pizzas cost 15.
So 2 over 15, 2 pizzas. Okay.
7 over x.
What goes in between them? Is this did you make a proportion?
No,
So,
equals.
There you go. Now it's a proportion. Two ratios equal to one another. Very good. So if I say, give me the proportion, I want 2 over $15 is equal to 7 over X. So, Nora, what are we looking for? In your own words.
We're looking for how many people. We're looking for how many. We're looking for cost.
Okay, how much is it going to cost for 7 pizzas? If 2 pizzas is $15, how much will 7 pizzas be? So let's cross multiply. All right, so that's 2 times X is equal to 7 times 15. Well, 2 times X is just 2X. What is 7 times 15, Grace?
75.
Not 75. Phoenix, what'd you get? What is 7 times 15?
7 times 100, 105.
There we go. Divide both sides by 2 to get X by itself. And what is 105 divided by 2? You may have to come over here to the side and do your work. Uh-oh, I'm going to have a remainder. So how much money is this? Okay, so X is 52.5. But remember, what is X dealing with, Blake? What does this X right here represent?
It represents the denominator.
Okay, what about the denominator? So in the problem, we're talking about pizza and money. Is X referring to pizza or money?
Pizza.
Is it? You sure? So here's our ratios, River. We've got 2 pizzas will cost you $15. So there's our first ratio, 2 over 15. But now we want to say, okay, well, if I buy 7 pizzas, how much money will that be? So that's 7 over some unknown value, which I've represented as X. So the X is not referring to the number of pizzas. River, what is the X referring to?
How much money?
How much money it's going to cost. Well, we just found X. X is 52.5. But River just said, oh, X is talking about money. So is 52.5, is that money? No. What do I have to do to the 52.5, Parker? How do I change 52.5 to money? What would that look like?
It would look like 52.5.
Or, so I can't leave it just as 52.5.
Well,
Money has,
52.50. Make it
there we go. So if I'm gonna buy 7 pizzas, that's gonna cost me $52.50. In my wallet on the counter. All right, let's do one more, and then we'll be done for the day. And you'll finish the rest of it on your own, okay? All right, let's do number 35. A survey of middle school students revealed that 36 out of 120 students have green eyes. How many students with green eyes would you expect to find out of the 10 of these students? See here. So you've got middle school students. 36 out of 120 students have green eyes. So how many students with green eyes would you expect to find out of 10 of these students? Let's think about that for a second. Well, okay, 36 out of 120 students. Let's see, let's take this first and let's reduce that. What is 36 over 120 reduced to?
4 or 3.
All right, no, okay. If you have a smaller number divided by a bigger number, we're not going to get a whole number. We've got to divide top and bottom by the same thing. So what's the common factor between 36 and 120?
12.
Let's try 12. What is 36 divided by 12? That's 3. 120 divided by 12, that's 10. So, okay, 3 to 10. Someone tell me, what does that mean? What does 3 over 10 mean? Nora? Tell me in your own words, what does this ratio right here mean?
Stranger danger.
Anybody? What does this mean?
That
What is yeah,
It is how many students out of 10 students have green eyes.
you are exactly right. This was our original ratio. If I have 36 students lined up, then out of all the 120 students in the school, 36 of those students are going to have green eyes. Well, I reduce the ratio down if I have 10 students right now in class or in the school and I picked them out. How many of those 10 students are going to have green eyes? Well, 3 of them, because that's my ratio there. So therefore, how many students with green eyes would you expect to find out of 10 of these students? You would get 3 students. Any questions on that one? All right, these are making you think for sure, but it'll be good. Okay, so what do you have for homework? You've got 2 things. Blake, tell me one of the things you've got to get done. Blake, can you hear me? Are you freezing? Oh, what's okay? You've got the quiz. What's the other thing, River?
Finish page 283.
You got it. All right, you got those 2 things to get done, and you need to have those done by class on Monday morning. Okay? Any other questions, River?
Next week, can we switch times with the 5th graders?
Just for 1 week, or maybe for the rest of the school year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We could do every other week. Like
Yeah,
next week we have 10:30, and then the next week we have 9:30.
Although I feel bad for the older kids because they have them earlier than us.
Yeah, one class has it at 8:30.
Yeah, you sent me
I
an
thought they
invite to
canceled it.
Algebra 1.
Sorry.
Miss Sierra's was canceled today.
She didn't have it this morning, but she did have it this whole week, so she's been getting up early.
I've been getting
doing
it sometimes hers. I've been getting it at sometimes her.
You accidentally sent
Okay.
me an invite to the Algebra 1 class.
Did I? I'm sorry.
Good what, Nora?
All right.
Wasn't, wasn't
All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, I will see. I will let you know over Google Classroom what we do. We may have to change it up a little bit for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I
Please.
will see you guys later.
I'm begging.
All right, bye.
It'll be okay.
Bye,
Bye.
Miss Fuller.
I was